The story begins with a family preparing for what should have been one of the happiest moments of their lives. A wedding, a celebration, a gathering of relatives from every corner of the country. For months, plans had been made, invitations had been sent, and excitement filled the air. At the center of it all was an old ancestral mansion known as Bhooth Bangla. The mansion had belonged to the family for generations. It stood far away from the crowded city, surrounded by ancient trees hidden behind iron gates, watching silently over the land for decades. To some people, it was a symbol of family history. To others, it was a place they preferred to avoid. Stories surrounded the mansion. Whispers passed from one generation to another. Stories about strange sounds at night. Stories about shadows moving through empty hallways. Stories about people hearing voices when nobody else was around. Most family members dismissed the stories. After all, every old house has legends. Every village has ghost stories. And every family has someone who enjoys frightening children. So when preparations began for the wedding, nobody paid much attention to the rumors. The mansion was large, beautiful, and perfect for a family celebration, or so they believed. As relatives started arriving, the atmosphere slowly changed. At first, it was small things. A door opening by itself, footsteps echoing through empty corridors, lights flickering without explanation. Nothing serious, nothing impossible to explain. People laughed about it. Some blamed old wiring, others blamed the wind. Nobody seemed concerned. But the mansion was watching, and it had been waiting. Among the arriving guests was a young man responsible for helping organize the wedding. Unlike the others, he immediately felt something was wrong. The moment he stepped inside the mansion, an uneasy feeling settled over him. He couldn't explain it. The walls seemed to hold secrets. The silence felt unnatural, and every corner of the house seemed to be hiding something. Whenever he mentioned it, others laughed. They told him he was imagining things, that the wedding stress was getting to him. Eventually, he stopped talking about it, but the feeling never left. As night fell, the mansion became even stranger. The long hallways appeared darker. The old portraits seemed almost alive, and every creak of the wooden floor sounded louder than before. While most guests slept peacefully, a few remained awake. Some claimed they heard someone walking upstairs. Others reported hearing soft whispers. One woman swore she saw a figure standing at the end of a corridor. When she looked again, it was gone. The next morning, everyone had a different explanation. Dreams, exhaustion, imagination. Yet the strange events continued. Each day brought something new. Objects disappeared. Rooms were found unlocked after being carefully secured. Family photographs fell from walls without reason, and several guests began reporting the same thing. A feeling, a presence, as if someone unseen was moving among them. Despite the growing tension, wedding preparations continued. No one wanted to cancel the celebration. Too much money had been spent. Too many plans had been made. And nobody wanted to believe that an old ghost story could disrupt such an important occasion. Then came the discovery. Hidden deep inside one section of the mansion was a room nobody remembered seeing before. Its door had remained locked for years. Dust covered every surface. Spider webs filled the corners. And inside was something unexpected.
a collection of old journals, photographs, letters, and records belonging to previous generations of the family. What started as curiosity quickly became concern. The journals described events that sounded disturbingly familiar. Unexplained noises, mysterious sightings, guests leaving the mansion terrified, and repeated references to a spirit connected to the house. A spirit that supposedly appeared whenever the family gathered in large numbers. Most people still refused to believe it, but a few began wondering whether the stories contained more truth than fiction. That night, the atmosphere became impossible to ignore. The wind outside grew stronger, the lights flickered continuously, and somewhere inside the mansion, a loud crash echoed through the darkness. Everyone rushed toward the sound. Fear spread through the house. Voices filled the hallways. Questions came from every direction. But nobody was prepared for what they would find, because standing at the end of the corridor, visible for only a few seconds, was a figure that should not have been there. A figure dressed in clothing from another era, watching silently before disappearing into the darkness. And at that moment, the family realized the stories might be true after all. After all.
For several seconds, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The corridor remained silent. Every person standing there stared into the darkness where the mysterious figure had vanished. Some believed they had imagined it. Others were certain they had seen someone. The problem was simple. No one could agree on what exactly they had witnessed. Fear has a strange way of playing tricks on the mind, and fear was beginning to spread through the mansion. The older members of the family immediately tried calming everyone down. They insisted there had to be a logical explanation. Perhaps it was one of the wedding guests. Perhaps someone was playing a prank. Perhaps the poor lighting had confused everyone. But deep inside, even they were beginning to doubt their own explanations. The strange events had become impossible to ignore. The next morning, the atmosphere inside Bhooth Bangla felt completely different. The excitement of the wedding was still there. But now, it was mixed with tension. People whispered in small groups. Everyone had questions. Nobody had answers. The family decided to search the mansion from top to bottom. Every room, every hallway, every locked door. If someone was hiding inside the mansion, they would find them. The search lasted for hours, yet nothing unusual was discovered. No intruder, no evidence, no explanation. It was as if the mysterious figure had never existed. But the mansion was not finished with them. That evening, workers decorating the wedding hall reported hearing strange sounds coming from the upper floors. At first, they ignored them. Old buildings often make strange noises. But then the sounds became louder. Footsteps, slow, heavy, moving across the floor above them. One worker finally gathered enough courage to investigate. He climbed the staircase, walked down the hallway, and followed the sounds. The footsteps suddenly stopped. The hallway became silent. He checked every room. Nothing. Nobody. Just silence. Then, without warning, one of the doors slammed shut behind him.
The sound echoed throughout the mansion. The terrified worker ran downstairs so quickly that he nearly fell. When he reached the others, his face had turned pale. For the first time, nobody laughed. The fear was becoming real. Meanwhile, the family continued examining the journals found inside the hidden room. The more they read, the stranger the story became. Many years ago, long before any of them were born, something terrible had happened inside the mansion. The journals never described the event directly. Instead, they hinted at it. Broken friendships, family betrayals, a forbidden relationship, and a tragedy that ended in heartbreak again and again. One name appeared throughout the writings. A woman whose story seemed connected to everything. A woman who had vanished under mysterious circumstances decades earlier. The journals suggested that her spirit never left the mansion. Most people dismissed the idea immediately. Ghosts belonged in stories, not real life. Yet the timing felt impossible to ignore. The strange events always appeared after large family gatherings, exactly as the journals described. As darkness returned that evening, the wedding celebrations continued despite growing concerns. Music played, guests danced, food was served. For a few hours, everyone forgot about the haunting. Laughter returned, the atmosphere improved, and people finally began relaxing. Then the power went out instantly, without warning. The entire mansion plunged into darkness. The music stopped, conversations ended, silence filled every room. Only the sound of the wind remained. Several guests pulled out their phones. Tiny lights illuminated frightened faces. Someone suggested checking the generator. A small group volunteered. They grabbed flashlights and headed outside. The path leading to the generator was narrow and surrounded by thick trees. The darkness seemed endless. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow appeared suspicious. As they approached the generator building, one of them noticed something unusual. Fresh footprints, not animal tracks. Human footprints leading away from the mansion and into the forest. The group exchanged nervous glances. Nobody wanted to follow them. Yet curiosity proved stronger than fear. Slowly, they followed the trail deeper into the darkness. The forest grew quiet, the air felt colder, and the footprints continued. Then suddenly, they stopped, as if whoever made them had simply vanished. The group stood frozen, confused, terrified, and then they heard a voice, soft, distant, almost like a whisper carried by the wind, calling someone's name. Nobody could identify where it was coming from. The voice seemed to be everywhere and nowhere. The group immediately turned back. They ran all the way to the mansion, refusing to look behind them.
The photograph changed everything. Until that moment, many members of the family still believed there had to be a logical explanation. A prank, a misunderstanding, an old family legend exaggerated over time. But now, doubt was beginning to disappear. The photograph was real. The journals were real. And the stories hidden within those pages were becoming harder to ignore. The next morning, a small group gathered inside the hidden room. The old journals were spread across a dusty table. Every page contained fragments of a forgotten past. Names, dates, warnings, and one story that appeared over and over again. The story of a young woman named Mira. Decades earlier, Mira had lived inside Bhooth Bangla. According to the journals, She was known throughout the region for her beauty and kindness. People admired her, children loved her, and many believed she would one day inherit the mansion. But Mira carried a secret, a dangerous secret. She had fallen in love, not with someone her family approved of, not with someone from her social circle. She had fallen in love with a young man from a poor family living near the village. Their relationship was hidden from everyone. They met in secret, spoke in whispers, and dreamed of building a life together. For a time, they believed love would be enough. But they underestimated the power of pride when the family eventually discovered the relationship. Chaos erupted. Arguments filled the mansion. Threats were made, and pressure was placed on Mira to end the relationship immediately. Her family believed she was bringing shame upon them. They refused to listen, refused to understand, and refused to accept her choice. Yet Mira remained determined. She wanted to be with the man she loved, no matter the consequences. Then something happened. The journals never described the event clearly, almost as if the writers were afraid to record the truth. Several pages had been torn out, others had been damaged. But one thing was obvious. A terrible tragedy occurred shortly afterward. The young man disappeared. Mira vanished, and the mansion was never the same again. After that day, strange events began occurring throughout Bhooth Bangla. Servants reported hearing crying late at night. Visitors claimed they saw a woman standing near the windows. Some even reported hearing someone calling for help from empty rooms. The stories spread quickly. Soon, people avoided the mansion after dark. Years passed. Generations came and went. But the stories never disappeared. As the family discussed the journals, another question emerged. If Mira's spirit was haunting the mansion, what was she trying to say? Why return now? Why during the wedding? Why after all these years? Nobody knew. But someone was about to find out. That evening, while preparations continued downstairs, one family member wandered away from the celebrations. He wanted fresh air, a break from the noise, a chance to think. Without realizing it, he found himself walking toward an abandoned section of the mansion. A part rarely used by anyone. The hallway was narrow. The air felt colder. Dust covered the floor, and every step echoed through the darkness. At the very end of the corridor stood an old wooden door. He had never noticed it before. Curious, he pushed it open. The room inside appeared untouched by time. Ancient furniture, faded curtains, and dozens of photographs hanging on the walls. Most had become impossible to recognize. Their faces faded by age. But one portrait immediately caught his attention. It was Mira. The same woman from the journals. The same woman from the photograph. For several seconds, he stared at the portrait. Then something impossible happened. A cold breeze moved through the room. The curtain shifted, and he suddenly felt as if someone was standing behind him. Slowly, he turned around. Nobody. The room was empty. Yet the feeling remained, stronger than before. He quickly stepped toward the door. But before he could leave, a soft voice echoed through the room. A whisper, barely audible, yet impossible to ignore. At first, he thought he imagined it. Then it came again, this time clearer. The voice seemed to say one word, help. His heart began racing. The room felt colder, the atmosphere heavier. And for the first time, he realized this was no ordinary haunting. Whatever existed inside Bhooth Bangla
wasn't simply trying to frighten people. It was trying to communicate, trying to tell its story, trying to reveal the truth. Terrified, he rushed back toward the main hall. But when he arrived, something was wrong. The music had stopped, the guests looked worried, and several family members were gathered near the entrance. Someone was missing. One of the wedding guests had vanished. Nobody knew where they had gone. Nobody had seen them leave.
The disappearance of the wedding guest changed everything. Until that moment, most people had treated the strange events as nothing more than old stories and bad luck. But now someone was missing. A real person. A member of the wedding party who had simply vanished. The celebration came to an immediate stop. Music disappeared. Laughter faded. And fear took its place. Every room in Bhooth Bangla was searched. Every hallway, every staircase, every balcony. Family members called out the missing guest's name over and over again. But only silence answered. Hours passed. No sign of the missing person. As midnight approached, the tension became unbearable. Some relatives wanted to leave immediately. Others demanded the wedding be canceled. A few even blamed the mansion itself. The old legends were no longer entertaining stories. Now they felt like warnings. Yet despite the growing panic, one small group remained determined to find the truth. They believed the answer was hidden somewhere inside the mansion. The journals, the portrait, the strange voice, the mysterious figure. Everything seemed connected. And if they could understand the past, perhaps they could save the future. The next morning, the search continued. While exploring the oldest section of the mansion, one of the family members noticed something unusual. A bookshelf that didn't seem properly attached to the wall. Curious, he pushed against it. To his surprise, the entire shelf moved. A hidden passage slowly revealed itself. The discovery shocked everyone. For generations, family members had lived in the mansion without knowing the passage existed. Behind the shelf was a narrow stone staircase descending deep underground. The air coming from below felt cold, ancient, almost untouched. Several people wanted nothing to do with it, but curiosity proved stronger than fear. Armed with flashlights, a small group began descending into the darkness. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. The staircase eventually opened into a network of underground tunnels. Dust covered every surface. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling. The tunnels looked abandoned for decades, yet something felt wrong. There were footprints, fresh footprints. Someone had been there recently. The group followed the trail. Every step increased the tension. The silence felt unnatural. The darkness seemed endless. Then they found something. A piece of jewelry. It belonged to the missing guest. Panic spread immediately. The person had definitely been there. But where were they now? The group continued forward. Eventually they discovered an underground chamber hidden beneath the mansion. The room appeared ancient. Its walls were covered with faded paintings and symbols. And at the center stood an old wooden chest. Inside the chest were dozens of documents, letters, photographs, and records dating back many decades. As they examined the contents, the truth about Mira slowly began to emerge. The story everyone knew was incomplete. The family had lied. Generation after generation, they had hidden what really happened. Mira had not simply disappeared. She had been betrayed.
The young man she loved had been accused of a crime he never committed. Powerful members of the family wanted him gone. They feared scandal, they feared embarrassment, and they feared losing control. The accusations destroyed his life. Eventually, he vanished from the village, never to be seen again. Mira desperately searched for him, but every door was closed. Every answer led nowhere. The betrayal broke her heart. Then one stormy night, she disappeared as well. The official story claimed she ran away, but the newly discovered document suggested something much darker. Something the family had spent decades covering up. As the group pieced together the mystery, a sudden noise echoed through the chamber. A loud metallic crash. Everyone jumped. The sound had come from somewhere deeper inside the tunnels. Someone or something was moving. The group cautiously followed the sound. The tunnel narrowed. The atmosphere became heavier. Then one flashlight suddenly went out. Another began flickering. A cold wind rushed through the passage. And for the first time, several members of the group saw it. A woman standing at the far end of the tunnel, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, motionless, silent, watching them. Nobody spoke, nobody moved. The figure seemed almost unreal, like a memory trapped between worlds. One person slowly stepped forward. The figure raised her hand, as if trying to point towards something. Then she vanished, just disappeared, leaving nothing behind. The group stood frozen, terrified, confused, but also certain of one thing. The ghost wasn't trying to attack them. It wasn't trying to hurt them. It was trying to show them something, trying to guide them toward the truth.
The scream shattered the silence. Everyone inside the underground chamber froze. For a moment, nobody moved. Then instinct took over. The group rushed toward the staircase, climbing back toward the mansion as fast as they could. The scream had come from the main floor, and whatever had caused it was serious. When they finally reached the mansion, panic had spread everywhere. Guests were gathered in the hall. Some were crying. Others were arguing. Several people were demanding to leave immediately. And standing in the center of the chaos was someone nobody expected to see. The missing wedding guest. Alive, unharmed, and completely confused. For several seconds, nobody knew what to say. The person had vanished for nearly an entire day. Yet now they were standing there as if nothing had happened. Questions came from every direction. Where had they been? What had happened? How had they returned? The guest looked frightened. I don't know, they finally admitted. I remember hearing someone calling my name. The room became silent. The guest continued. I followed the voice. I thought it was one of you. But when I reached the corridor, I saw a woman. Several people immediately exchanged nervous looks. The guest pointed toward an old staircase. She was standing there. She didn't speak. She just looked at me. And then she started walking. The room felt colder. Everyone already knew who the guest was describing. Mira. The guest explained that they followed the mysterious woman through parts of the mansion they had never seen before. Hallways, locked rooms, hidden passages. Then everything became blurry, almost dreamlike. The next thing they remembered was waking up in a small room beneath the mansion, alone, confused, and surrounded by old photographs.
Nobody knew what to make of the story. Yet one thing was becoming clear. The spirit wasn't attacking people. It was leading them somewhere, showing them something, trying desperately to reveal the truth. Later that evening, the group finally opened Mira's journal. The room remained completely silent as they read the first pages. The journal told the story of a young woman trapped between love and family loyalty. Page after page described her heartbreak, her fear, and her growing desperation. She wrote about the man she loved, a man the family refused to accept, a man who had been falsely accused, a man whose life was destroyed by lies. Then came the final entries, the entries that changed everything. Mira revealed that she had discovered the truth. She had learned who was responsible for framing the man she loved. The betrayal had come from within her own family. Someone powerful, someone respected, someone willing to sacrifice innocent lives to protect the family's reputation. The revelation shocked everyone, because the name written inside the journal belonged to one of the family's most celebrated ancestors. For decades, he had been remembered as a hero, a respected leader, a protector of the family legacy. But according to Mira's own words, he was responsible for the tragedy that destroyed countless lives. The room fell silent. Generations had been built upon a lie, and now the truth was finally emerging. But the journal contained one final secret, a secret that explained everything. Mira never left the mansion. She never ran away. She never abandoned her family. According to her final entry, she planned to expose the truth. She intended to reveal everything publicly. But before she could do so, something happened. The final pages ended abruptly. The last sentence remained unfinished, as if she had been interrupted, as if someone had stopped her. The realization sent chills through everyone. Mira's story had never been completed. And perhaps that was why her spirit remained. Not out of revenge, not out of hatred, but because the truth had never been told. Meanwhile, wedding preparations continued despite the growing fear. The ceremony was now only hours away. Guests debated whether it should proceed at all. Some wanted to leave. Others insisted the wedding must continue. The family found itself divided. Then strange things began happening again. The lights flickered repeatedly. Doors opened by themselves. Portraits fell from walls. And throughout the mansion, people reported seeing the same figure. A woman dressed in white, watching, waiting, almost as if she knew something important was about to happen. As midnight approached, a violent storm rolled across the sky. Thunder shook the windows, rain pounded the roof. The ancient mansion groaned under the force of the wind. Inside, fear reached its highest point. Then the impossible happened. Every clock inside the mansion stopped at exactly the same moment. The lights went out, and a powerful gust of wind swept through the building. Guests screamed. They screamed.
The truth had finally begun to emerge. For decades, Bhooth Bangla had been hiding a secret. A secret buried beneath layers of fear, lies, and silence. The family now knew what had happened to Mira. They knew she had been betrayed. They knew her love story had ended in tragedy. And they knew someone had worked very hard to make sure the truth never came out. But uncovering the mystery was only the beginning, because something inside the mansion was becoming stronger. The closer they came to the truth, the more aggressive the supernatural activity became. It was as if the spirit had been waiting all these years for someone to listen, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover what really happened. And now that the truth was finally surfacing, the haunting had reached its most dangerous stage. The wedding was only hours away. Guests continued arriving. Decorations filled every corner of the property. Music echoed through the halls. Laughter could still be heard. But beneath the celebration, fear was spreading. Nobody wanted to admit it, yet everyone could feel it. Something was wrong. Very wrong. That evening, several family members gathered inside the hidden chamber beneath the mansion. They wanted answers. They wanted closure. And most importantly, they wanted the nightmare to end before the wedding ceremony began. Among the old documents discovered inside the underground room was a final journal. Unlike the others, this one appeared untouched, almost as if someone had deliberately hidden it. Inside were pages written by a man who had witnessed everything. Every betrayal, every lie, every terrible decision. The journal revealed the final piece of the puzzle. Mira had never abandoned her family. She had never disappeared willingly. She had been trapped, silenced, and left to die because powerful people feared the consequences of the truth. The revelation shocked everyone. Generations had lived believing a false story. An innocent woman had been blamed for a tragedy she never caused. And the real villains had escaped responsibility. Suddenly, many of the strange events inside the mansion began making sense. The whispers, the sightings, the warnings. The spirit had never been trying to hurt anyone. It had been trying to tell its story, trying to reveal what really happened, trying to find justice. For the first time, fear began transforming into sympathy. The family no longer viewed Mira as a ghost. They viewed her as a victim. A woman whose voice had been stolen. A woman whose story had been erased. A woman who refused to be forgotten. But even as this realization spread through the family, another danger emerged. Not everyone wanted the truth exposed. One member of the extended family became increasingly nervous. His behavior changed. His reactions became suspicious. And the more questions people asked, the more uncomfortable he became. Slowly, attention turned toward him. Then came the shocking discovery. His ancestors had been directly involved in covering the original crime. For generations, the family had protected the secret. They had rewritten history, destroyed evidence, and ensured nobody would ever learn the truth. Now, with everything unraveling, panic had taken hold. Desperate people often make dangerous choices, and danger was approaching. Late that night, as a storm gathered outside, the mansion plunged into darkness once again. Thunder shook the walls. Rain hammered the windows. The power failed completely. For several seconds, nobody could see anything. Then came the scream. A terrified scream.
From somewhere inside the mansion, everyone froze. The sound echoed through every hallway. Guests rushed from their rooms. Family members grabbed flashlights. Panic spread instantly. They followed the sound down one corridor, around a staircase, toward the oldest section of the house. And there they found chaos. Furniture overturned, pictures scattered across the floor, broken glass everywhere. And standing in the middle of the room was the same relative whose family had spent generations hiding the truth. His face was pale, his body trembling, his eyes fixed on something nobody else could see. He kept repeating the same words, over and over again. She's here. She's here. She knows.
The morning of the wedding finally arrived. After days of fear, confusion, and unanswered questions, the family stood at the edge of the most important day in their lives. Outside, the storm had passed. The skies were clear. The sunlight returned. And for a brief moment, it seemed as though everything was finally returning to normal. But appearances can be deceiving. Inside Bhooth Bangla, the atmosphere remained tense. Nobody had forgotten what had happened during the night. Nobody had forgotten the figure near the window. And nobody had forgotten the truth hidden within the journals. The secret that had remained buried for decades had finally come to light. Mira had been innocent. Her story had been stolen. Her memory had been destroyed. And her spirit had spent generations waiting for justice. The family gathered together one final time. This time, there were no arguments, no denial, no attempts to hide from the truth. For the first time in decades, everyone agreed on one thing. The truth deserved to be told. Before the wedding ceremony could begin, the family invited every guest into the main hall. Relatives, friends, villagers, everyone. The room filled quickly. Confused faces looked around as whispers spread through the crowd. Nobody understood why the celebration had suddenly been interrupted. Then one member of the family stepped forward. With trembling hands, he opened the old journal and began reading. At first, the room remained silent. Then came shock, then disbelief, then sadness. The guests listened as the true story of Mira was finally revealed. Her forbidden love, the betrayal she suffered, the lies that followed, and the years of silence that allowed the injustice to continue. Many people could not believe what they were hearing. Others lowered their heads in shame, because some of their own ancestors had participated in hiding the truth. Generations had been built upon a lie, and now that lie was collapsing. As the final pages of the journal were read aloud, something unusual happened. A cold breeze moved through the hall. The candles flickered, the chandelier swayed gently, and a silence fell over the room. Everyone felt it. The same strange presence that had haunted the mansion for days. But this time, it felt different. Not angry, not threatening,
almost peaceful. The family looked around nervously. Then someone pointed toward the grand staircase. Slowly, every eye turned in the same direction. And there she was, standing at the top of the stairs. A woman dressed in clothing from another era. Silent, motionless, bathed in soft light. For a few seconds, nobody breathed, nobody moved, nobody spoke. The figure simply stood there, watching, not with anger, not with hatred, but with sadness, and perhaps relief. The spirit of Mira had finally witnessed the truth being spoken. The story that had been hidden for generations was no longer a secret. The injustice had finally been acknowledged. The silence had finally been broken. Several people began crying. Others stood frozen in disbelief. Yet nobody felt afraid. Because for the first time, the presence inside Bhooth Bangla no longer felt threatening. It felt human. A soul that had carried pain for far too long. A soul finally being heard. Then something remarkable happened. The figure smiled, only slightly, almost impossible to notice, but enough for everyone to see. And as sunlight poured through the windows behind her, the image slowly began fading. Little by little, moment by moment, until nothing remained. The staircase stood empty, the presence was gone, the air felt lighter. The oppressive atmosphere that had haunted the mansion seemed to disappear. And deep down, everyone knew what had happened. Mira had finally found peace. The haunting was over, the mystery had ended, and the mansion was finally free. For several moments, nobody spoke. Then the room erupted with emotion. People hugged each other. Old wounds began healing. And for the first time in generations, the family felt united. Not by secrets, not by fear, but by truth. A few hours later, the wedding ceremony finally began. This time without interruptions, without fear, without shadows lurking in the hallways. Music filled the mansion once again. Laughter returned, and happiness replaced anxiety. What was supposed to be the darkest week in the family's history had become something else entirely. A chance for healing, a chance for forgiveness, a chance to finally let go of the past. As the celebrations continued, many people reflected on everything they had experienced. Some wondered whether they had truly seen a ghost. Others believed there had to be another explanation. But deep inside, most of them already knew not every mystery can be explained. Not every story fits neatly into logic. Some stories live on because they need to be remembered.